Okay, welcome everyone to the call. My name is Louise Lowing, and on the phone with me is Tanya Wheeler, Janet Barbietto, and Tiffany Bonds. And we wanted to do a quick overview and highlight some of the information that we received at convention this past weekend. It was an amazing time, and I hope that all of you will be available to go next year. Now, as we go through this information, feel free to post your questions on the event wall, and we will answer a couple of them at the end of this call, but we'll go back to the event wall to answer in the comments section as well if we run out of time. Okay, so let's get going. Now, I think you're all familiar by now that we have a chief scientific officer that has been working with Younique since the beginning of the year. This guy has the owners of Sephora on speed dial, and he's basically worked with every big-name cosmetics company out there. Now, when Estee Lauder asked him why he chose Younique, Melanie asked him the same question, and he said, I'm nearing the end of my career, and I want to leave a legacy, and Younique is going to be even bigger than Estee Lauder. Now, with that being said, I'm going to go into the awesome new products that we have coming out this fall that this guy is formulating, and trust me, they are awesome. Now, first, let's go through the August kudos. The lash comb and eye brush will be available to purchase for $20 after September 1st, but anyone who purchases a collection this month is going to get it for free. Now, for those wondering why $20 when you can get one at a dollar store for $1, this is way different and way better. The metal lash comb isn't going to break like a cheap plastic comb, and the natural brush is actually fuller and thicker than the one that I have from Sephora that cost me $15. It really is an advanced tool. Now let's go through the products rolling out September 1st for purchase. The first is the Uplift Eye Serum. It's oil-free, preservative-free, dye-free, and fragrance-free. It's going to fight the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, and is considered nutrition for your skin. Melanie, was joking around saying she uses it all over her face and body, but that's because she doesn't have to pay for it. But it really is some good stuff. Now, here are some of the ingredients that makes it special. It has vitamins E, C, CoQ10, antioxidants, and natural skin lipids like squalane. And now this is a controversial item since squalane is usually taken from shark's liver, but we're using the version taken from sugarcane, and it's exactly the same effectiveness and keeps with the cruelty-free agenda. Now, another ingredient is sweet iris or iris pallida leaf cell extract, and this is used to stimulate cell repair. Now, this beauty is going to cost $65, but a tiny bit is going to go a long way, and it's worth every penny. And it is a pretty sizable bottle at 0.5 ounces. Now, the other thing that's rolling out in September is the Moodstruck Mineral Pencil. The eye and lip pencils are great additives. They are not waxy. They have a nice soft glide on application. They're waterproof, they're smudge proof, and they're super long wearing, and let me tell you that it is super true. I did an experiment on the back of my hand and took pictures. I ran water over my hand, rubbed it with my fingers, no smudging, no smearing. Then I wiped it clean with a tissue, and they were almost exactly the same as the first picture before putting it through the test. And if you want me to repost them on the event wall, I'll be happy to do that. And ingredients include the jojoba oil, vitamin E, vitamin C derivative, and a hydrogenated cottonseed oil, which is used as a skin conditioning agent. Now, the prices of these pencils are going to be $15 each, 3 for $40, a set of 10 for $125, and the entire set for $165. Now, the last two sets I mentioned come with a pencil sharpener as a bonus. Now, also in September, the following products are now not only formulated and prototyped in the United States, but now they're going to be manufactured here, too. These products are the Moodstruck Mineral Pigments, the Moodstruck Mineral Concealer, the Lucrative Lip Gloss, the Refreshed Rose Water, and the BB Flawless. Okay, now on to October 1st. We're going to have two face washes, the Illuminate Clear and the Illuminate Clean. The Clear is pretty much the same formulation as the Awake and will have the same active ingredients as the garden chrysanthemum, aloe vera, and licorice root. They just had to change the name because of a copyright issue now that our products are going to be made in America. So, so the Clear is pretty much the Awake, but the Illuminate Clean is like the yin to the yang, as Melanie puts it. The Clean is for dry and normal skin and really just a milder formula than the Clear, so it isn't too drying on the skin. These are going to be $39 each. Now, Also, in the month of October, the Mineral Touch Powder and Foundation will now also be formulated, prototyped, and manufactured in the United States. Okay, so now November 1st is a biggie, and they're going to tag it a November to Remember. And this will be our 2-year anniversary. Now, the rollout of the Divine Moisturizer will be available the first of the month. This moisturizer is specially formulated for all skin types. It will have an airless pump which will keep the product in the most pristine environment possible, which means fewer preservatives need to be added, and it gives it a cleaner formulation. Now, some of the active ingredients for the Divine are beta-fructan, which is derived from beets and sugar, and it's a polysaccharide that helps with moisture retention. It also has honeysuckle flower extract, which functions as an anti-inflammatory agent, and blue lotus flower extract, which provides instant hydration for the skin. There's also gotu kola extract, and that's basically is known to increase the strength of the dermis and increase healing of the epidermis of the skin. It's also known to increase antioxidant and collagen concentration in wounds and stimulate wound healing, and have an anti-inflammatory property. And the last ingredient, or active ingredient, is hazel, which is used for fighting acne, refreshing skin, and locking in moisture. The Divine is going to cost $39. Now, the Glorious Primer is also going to be formulated, prototyped, and manufactured in the U.S. in the month of November, and so will the blushers, but instead of it being a loose powder, they're going to change it to a pressed powder. Now, with the November to Remember theme, Younique is going to be rolling out all new collection kits that I'm sure will include these new products, and the kudos will be a very limited edition opportunity that is going to remain a surprise for now, but I'm sure after what we witnessed this weekend, it will be well worth the wait. I'm now going to pass the baton on to Tanya to talk about the changes in some of the packaging.
Thank you, Louise. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. What a great job. You did great, Louise. She explained everything just as Melanie did. It kind of felt like I was at convention again.
Thank you.
Really exciting to be at convention, and one of the big things that was announced was that all of our products are being made in the USA. There are a couple exceptions to that rule, and I'll get to that. But let me talk about the announcement that was made. They did say that many of our products will now be formulated, prototyped, and manufactured in the United States, and this transition will take place from September through November. And the reason they did that is for better efficacy and for global compliance now that we're launching into the United Kingdom, which Jenna will talk about. All the new formulas are EU compliant, and one of the biggest differences is with the pigments. The pigments are going to be denser, and that's going to allow for longer wear, and it's going to allow the products to blend better. The concealers are also going to be denser, and that's going to allow for better coverage. The prices for everything are going to remain the same, with the exception of the pigments, which will be $12.50. But believe me, the product is going to be worth far more than that. And the fact that they could keep everything at the same price and manufactured in the United States is crazy. I was really impressed by that. Of course, the lashes are the one product that is still going to be manufactured in China. The product is still formulated here in the United States, and the recipe is sent with ingredients from around the world to be packaged in China. So that is how I present that. I have never had somebody not order the products because of that. However, if you have somebody that's really concerned, what you want to ask is, what is your concern with that? And usually it comes down to safety. But sometimes they just say, oh, I was just curious. So don't make a big deal out of it, but do make a big deal out of everything else being made in the United States. Another thing with the packaging for the Glorious Primer, you are going to see a big difference in that product. They did repackage it in a new airless pump, and it will be a cleaner formula, and it will have fewer preservatives, and that also will be made in the USA. One of the other big announcements was the Presenter's Kit is going to change. As of September 1st, there will be a new Presenter's Kit. It will contain the 3D lashes, the eye brush set, Luxe lip gloss, 8 full-size new made-in-the-USA mineral pigments, and those colors will be glamorous, heavenly, precocious, infatuated, daring, devious, sexy, and angelic, and it will still come in the black case. And they're also going to put the case in a nice protective box, And that box has a wonderful message lining the presenter kit that congratulates the new presenter on starting their new journey. It was really well written, and I'm really excited because it just makes people excited when they open something and see a welcome message. So this is a great opportunity to reach out to those that you know who have expressed interest in signing up with Younique, or to introduce this company to those who you've considered calling but just haven't had a reason. Well, here's your reason. Here's your reason, because now they have a choice, and that's what it is. It's simply a choice. There's no need to have an opinion one way or the other. Some people have a preference for more variety in colors, and some people are going to have a preference for made in the USA products. So just present the two different kits and say, hey, here's an opportunity. Our kit is changing on September 1st. The current kit will be sent if you enroll before the end of August, and that kit contains the lashes, the complete brush set, tester sizes of all the pigments. That contains the blushers and the loose powder concealers, and it comes in a beautiful black case. On September 1st, the kit will still contain the 3D lashes and the complete eyebrow set. However, the pigments will now be the Made in the USA products. All the tester sizes will be discontinued, so you'll receive 8 of those full-size pigments in the most versatile colors, and the loose blushes will also be discontinued, so those aren't going to be included in the kit. They are adding a lip gloss in the most versatile color, and this will still be packaged in the black case. Either way, the cost is $99, and the kits are both valued at over $200. Which one would you prefer? And then just listen to what they have to say. So that is how I would present the new kit. Let's keep it positive. There were some negative comments, and let's have none of that. This is a totally positive thing. This company is moving in the right direction, and as we experience growth, we need to be flexible and move with that growth. So great job so far to everybody, and I'm going to turn it over to Janet, who will now cover the news on our UK launch and the changes that are happening in our international markets.
Okay, good evening, ladies. And I agree with Tiffany. Conference is definitely not an event you want to miss. It's one of ours that you definitely want to make sure you are present for. I am going to start with the news about our NFRs. And as you know, Canada and all our other international markets have been under a not-for-resale clause, which limited how much they could personally order each month. And I'm really excited to announce that very soon Younique will be lifting the NFR clause and will be fully registered in Canada. And that Australia will be following shortly after. This will lift any restriction on personally ordering and allowing you to stock any product if you would wish to. We're also excited to let you know that on September 1st, everyone in every market will be receiving a Younique debit card. Now, there are a few fees associated with the card, and they're relatively small. And if any changes are made to the fee list, we will be sure to let you know. Most of the fees can be avoided by using the card as a credit card and not entering your PIN, not using it for gas. There is a small fee still to transfer to your bank or to transfer money back onto the card for you. And here in the U.S., if we do at any time enter our PIN number, we are charged a $1 fee. That fee will be a little bit different in every market, and we'll make sure to keep you updated on what those will be. And now our big news. The UK launch will happen on October 1st. It will follow the exact same procedure as all the markets before, with a 30-day recruitment period, and then they will start to sell product on November 1st, which just happens to be Younique's second anniversary. Now, we have not been told the exact cost for the kit, but all the product launches coming up are already EU compliant, so we shouldn't have any issues there. There have been some questions on whether the UK launch will include Northern Ireland, and I will make sure to post that information as soon as I hear back from corporate. And that's pretty much it on my part, and I'm going to pass it on to Tiffany now. She's going to cover a new Younique Foundation, the car bonus, and where the convention will be held in 2015.
Okay, can everybody hear me? Or can the ones that are on hear me? Okay. I always mess up on the mute thing. So thanks for joining us. And like Janet said, I'll be covering the car bonus, the Younique Foundation, and where convention is going to be for those of you who just happen to not know where it's going to be yet, but I'm pretty sure all of us do. So I'll start with the Younique car bonus. The requirements are as follows. First, you should be a paid as black status for 3 consecutive months, and that's only a one-time requirement. Second, have a combined generation total of your 3 generations of at least 1 million wholesale. And yes, I said 1 million, but once you get to that point, that's going to be a piece of cake. And third, 8 first-generation elites. So those are 3 requirements for hitting the car bonus. And then the rewards that you would get with that are, first, Younique will send you a custom car kit, including a Chrome Younique car badge. You will get a one-time $2,500 bonus to uniqueify your car in any way you want. Be creative. And third, monthly you will get $750 bonus to put towards a vehicle of your choice. And again, yes, you heard me right. They're letting you pick any car you want, whether you want, I don't know, an old Volkswagen Bug, which I think are adorable, or a BMW. Whatever you want, you get. I don't know cars, so excuse me for not knowing any of the cool ones to mention, but I thought that was awesome. The program qualifications period will start November 1st, so anyone who qualifies first will be announced in February of 2015. And next, I want to give kind of a short explanation of the Younique Foundation. I asked if I could talk about this one because it does hit very close to home for me. Derek and Melanie briefly shared their stories about why they wanted to start a foundation for women who are or have been sexually, mentally, or physically abused. And they went on to say that 1 in 3 girls are sexually abused by the age of 12. And they want to have a retreat for those women to go to heal and to regain their worth. And they want to use the retreat cabin that they use for the Green Elites, which is beautiful. I've been there, and it's absolutely a beautiful place to go. And then Derek went on to say, it's not just about the mascara or the makeup or the skincare. It's real people here to uplift, empower, and motivate. And ladies, if you were at convention, and let me just tell you, when this was brought up, there was not a dry eye in the place. When I was at the Green Elite retreat in May, Derek mentioned this foundation, and it floored me because, you always hear about foundations for people who are hungry, for, help the hungry or the orphans or save the animals, and those are all amazing foundations. But for sexual, mental, and physical abuse, it's something I've never come across before. And I knew that this was where I was meant to be. And a little bit on why of that is because I am that 1 in 3 girls who was sexually abused as a child and a teen. So it went on from my childhood up into my teens. So when I first learned about this foundation in May, I knew that God had put me in this company for this very reason. And I told Derek, we talked that day that he brought it up, him and his wife and a couple other ladies, and I said, I will do anything I can to help out with this. And so I'm all in. And it felt good to talk to other ladies who had witnessed or experienced the same thing. And the Younique Foundation, to me, I feel like it embodies just how amazing and selfless and humble our CEOs and the company really are. So, okay. Now on to something that's not as sad for me, the convention. And I'm sure 99% of you have already know where it's going to be, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's going to be in Chicago. And I've never been there, but I was up screaming and clapping with the rest of them because I was just super excited to be somewhere else, I guess. But we don't know where the exact dates yet. When we find out the dates, we will definitely let you know. But I would say start saving up now, ladies. $20, $50 a month. Just put it away. You don't want to miss convention. I would like to see all of you there. It's amazing, and it's so much fun. And we really, like all the women, girls have said, we can't really explain in words just how amazing it was. It's just so amazing. Sorry, one sec. My daughter, of course, busted on me. Hold on. So now we're going to answer some questions. If anybody had posted any while we were talking.